Well, good evening, Gopher fans, and welcome back to another episode of Sky U Pod, your college huddle Golden Gopher football podcast. Our Golden Gophers are going to try to defend the one and only Paul Bunyan's big axe as we face off against our rivals, the Wisconsin Badgers. As we all know, this is a big game, the yearly rivalry game, longest rivalry in college sports. Finally back to a Saturday game at 2:30. I mean, I don't know why last year was different. Kind of like this old traditional slot here. But either way, these teams, I mean, it doesn't get any better than this when you're looking at rivalries, right? 63 and 8 is the all-time record dating back to 1890. Minnesota's winning the last 3 of 4, which is pretty awesome considering what it was like for the almost 20 years that it was like before then. But anyways, we're currently 1.5 point favorite against the Badgers, and yeah, I'm hoping that holds on. But joining me as always, Max, Kurt, how you both doing?
Doing good. Looking forward to one more regular season game. Hopefully, can get this win. Yeah, tough coming off last week, like we talked about, but it's Axe week. I'm kind of surprised how quickly I moved on. Like I just ready to beat up on the Badgers. Nothing else matters at this point. Like it's one of those classic. Just throw out the record books, forget about the stats, forget about the year Wisconsin's had. Like we just got to take care of business.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. Almost throughout the year we've had too, because of the stretch we're on. Like it just feels
Yeah.
like, you know what? Let's just go out and win this axe and get to the off season and feel a little bit better about ourselves. I know we'll have a bowl game, but not sure where we're going, even if we pick up a W in this one. But yeah, I mean, just looking forward to watching, you know, the big one here at the end of the year. And the season went too fast. We do appreciate all of you that tuned in and listened this year. It's a good year. Had a lot of fun hanging out with you guys, and yeah, one more here before bowl season, and goes too fast every time.
Yeah, it's really is hard to believe that this is the last regular season pregame episode that we'll do. Obviously, we'll get a bowl game in Detroit, so we'll be previewing that one coming up. Um, yeah, but on that note, fellas, I just wanted to start off by just kind of looking back on the season as a whole and where we're at today. It was it, it was a season of there was some ups, there have been downs, there have been questions, there have been highlights. It's been kind of an emotional roller coaster all season, it seems like. But I don't know, Max, tell me, what have you thought about this season?
Yeah, it's definitely, I feel like, been more disappointing than not overall. But like we've talked about all year, like we've been able to win some games in some sloppy ways that we maybe haven't won in the past. It's like you can't complain about winning, but it's tough when you see the way the team plays and the way it looks on the field. But at the same time, we did have the way we. I feel like we showed our potential against Nebraska. I think we've seen flashes of our potential in other games. So it's like it is a younger-ish team, so hopefully there's a lot to build on. But on the whole, I mean, again, I think we've said this year, like throughout the season too, of like we're probably kind of right where we expected to be at record-wise, but it's just not the way we expected to get there. Just a lot of inconsistencies on the field, a lot of question marks as far as coaching staff and scheme goes, but I don't know. I feel like this game kind of. I don't know if this game would really change my opinion on the season. Obviously, a win's going to feel a lot better than a loss. But I feel like on the whole, this year's kind of been disappointing to me, if I'm being honest.
I think a loss would throw the fan base into a tizzy. Like
It's going to be
going
bad.
6-6 with the schedule we had, and
Yeah.
losing to Wisconsin, who's not having
Yeah.
that great of a year, but maybe coming on late. Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, if I'm taking a step back and just looking glass half full, sunny side up, like everything's daisies. Like, there were some really sweet wins we got that we might have not fully deserved in all of them. The Rutgers game was a great football game. I mean, I know we lost and there are no moral victories at all, but like at least last week's game was super entertaining. Like, I'm sure if you're an outside fan just tuning into that game, it was back and forth the whole time. Like, really good football games to watch. So nothing, well, outside of our blowout losses, I should say. The Purdue game, we kind of stole one there, but got crazy at the end. Like, so some entertaining football, and they've been struggling lately. And so I don't want to like have it get lost. Like, Anthony Smith is the best D lineman we've had in a long time. Like, I don't think there's anyone been as dominant as him, at least in the pass rush for sure. And he definitely deserves his flowers here as one more game. Hopefully, he goes out with the W. But just going to highlight him. Devin Williams having a solid year too. I know he missed last week. Hopefully, he's back this week. But yeah, there've been. It's weird because there's been some individual standouts on the defense. It just hasn't all clicked together. And actually, I would say I think it's getting worse. But that's a topic for another time. Really, I mean, PJ was asked about the issues on defense, and maybe we'll talk about this after Shreddy gives his thoughts. But I want, like, he was basically asked, like, is it scheme, players, or coaching? And he said personnel and coaching is basically the issues, which I don't necessarily disagree, but I think the personnel is better than what we're getting out of it for the most part. But I don't know. I'll turn it over to Shreddy, and you guys can touch on that too if you want his answer on that one.
Yeah. So to answer the question of the season, it has been disappointing. Like I do think that there were some good flashes. That Nebraska game, I thought right there, I really thought that we were on the way. Right, seems kind of like historically, it was a little bit of a slow start for the Gophers, and then they kind of have that game where they kind of flip the switch and maybe kind of turn it up a notch a little bit and kind of get it figured out, particularly on offense. Um, but this year, it kind of seems like there's been a little regression, and particularly with the defense. I just feel like since that Nebraska game, it has not been nearly as good as it probably should be. Certainly hasn't been improving since. Max and I talked about it after the post game episode against Northwestern. It just seems like that was the worst defensive game probably that they've had all season, potentially against a Northwestern team that is not in Ohio State, that is not in Oregon. It's just it's disappointing. Yeah. And then we're going against these rivals who kind of seem like the polar opposite. At the beginning of the year, I said that this was a lock. This game, it wasn't. I wasn't worried one bit against the Wisconsin Badgers, and they're kind of the polar opposite. They started kind of low, and now they're kind of picking it up a bit. And that they're going to be so motivated in this game to win back that axe. And apparently, their bowl season is kind of up, and it's still possible, I guess. A lot of weird things have to happen, but regardless, I mean, this axe, if you ask me, this is more important than any bowl game you're going to get into in this particular point. So this is the bowl game, if you will. So I forget what question that you asked, Kurt, for us to address.
I was going to ask about PJ's comments, but I want to switch it. Actually, we'll get back to that too. But I have another question. What game is it that made you just like sink in? Where just like, yeah, this season, this isn't what we were hoping for. I have the obvious answer. For me, it's Iowa.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's not just that you lost; it's how you lost that game. I mean, every single road game has been a disappointment, but you played Ohio State, got blown out on national TV. It's like, okay, well, maybe that's just because it's Ohio State. And then your next road opponent is Iowa, a game you should want more than them probably at this point, like ready to roll, have some sort of fight. And nothing. We were unprepared. It was, we don't have to rehash that whole game, but just how flat, unprepared, and not good, I guess we looked. For me, it was just the way the Iowa game went down. And then, of course, all the other results that have happened since. But it's the Iowa game that kind of sours this one for me so far. Could be saved a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah. Like that Iowa game, and then just the way the Michigan State game kind of went down the stretch, where you'd hope it would be like a bounce back spot at home against a lesser opponent, starting a backup quarterback. Started off decent, and then the way we just kind of let that one slip away, it was like, yeah, this is what it is, and that's, as a fan, where you kind of always have your hopes up. I feel like I maybe felt a little bit against Purdue, maybe just being there in person, kind of seeing it. And then if the Nebraska game didn't happen, it probably definitely would have been Purdue, just the way we played them so tightly. In hindsight, if we're looking back, I mean, it should have been Cal. I mean, that would have been,
Right.
knowing what we know
Right.
now, like that game absolutely should not have been lost. So, yeah, there's a lot of things you could have pointed to. And I think that's just kind of how the year's gone of like, it's never gotten better in certain areas. And like, we've seen little improvements here and there, and we've seen glimpses of
Yeah.
like what we could be, but it's just, I don't know. It's just always been like a flat team.
Yeah. Well, like the close wins are fine. And I'm never going to fault, especially now with the portal and NIL, the close wins aren't going away. Like,
Right.
I mean, Purdue played Michigan to 5 points in the Big House, and those close games aren't going to go away. So I'm never going to be like, yeah, I'm disappointed we only beat Rutgers by 3 points or whatever. Like, I think that's kind of the new reality for most of the Big Ten, unless you're like in the top 4 or whatever this year. I mean, you would think that you're due for a comfortable win here or there, but it hasn't been the case. But you would hope off of those close wins that you would be able to build on it and get better at certain areas and just kind of form a more of an identity, I guess, for the rest of the season. And we haven't been able to do that.
Yeah, I think to answer your question, Kurt, definitely Iowa. Like the only reason though that I think maybe like with Max Michigan State is because with Iowa it's just like a year in year out thing. For some reason PJ cannot figure Iowa out. So, and the game kind of got away from the Gophers like within the first quarter,
10 minutes,
first
5 minutes.
Yeah. And so like, sometimes in college football you have those games where things just blow up immediately and then there's no chance. But then when you play Michigan and yeah, you win that game, but against a team that we all know is not good and had no business, frankly, of hanging in there with us. That was like the glaring, like, oh, maybe that Iowa game wasn't just one of those fluke games that we get destroyed, just didn't get off the bus and wake up to play football. And then you kind of go on from there and start, losing more games and playing a little poorly and not seeing much improvement. So I think you're right.
Since
right.
Nebraska, I guess, because we beat Nebraska, then lost to Iowa. Yeah, so basically since that Nebraska game, the defense has gotten worse and worse.
And so, yeah, I think that it probably started with Iowa, but I think that it was apparent, after Michigan State that it's like, wow, yeah, this isn't just this just wasn't a rivalry beat down the week before. This was something is wrong with this team. And the really unfortunate takeaway that I have from that is the fact that it hasn't, if you're going to lose games, fine. Like it's college football. You're not going to be great every year, but the lack of improvement and development of these players is what's really, really disastrous to me. And it's unfortunate because we've said it before. I think this is probably the most talented team assembled by PJ. And the fact that we can't really develop these great talented players into something for the upcoming years, it's really a shame. And like you said, Kurt, I forgot to mention this. If this was the schedule, even with Ohio State and Oregon on the schedule, if this was during the Big Ten West days, you could not ask for another like a better schedule. You really couldn't. I mean, we could hang with all of the teams that are on the schedule. I'm not saying we're going to go undefeated. Things happen in college football, but there is no reason that on paper you couldn't tell me, at least before knowing what, has happened and transpired over the course of the season, that we couldn't hang in there with all these teams. And that's what's really disheartening.
That's why I'm sick of hearing the media it's telling us that this Gopher team is overachieving. In what way are they overachieving? Like they've lost every game but one that they're supposed to, and they've won every game but one that they're supposed to. That's according to Vegas. And if we're not going by Vegas, I don't know what we're looking at. Like you brought up to the talent, like this is one of PJ's according to 247, like one of the most talented rosters he's had. And yeah, it might be young, and some of the portal talent might have not been what we were hoping for, but you were playing a really close game. You guys brought up the Purdue game, and those guys just started playing football together basically a month before that game happened or whatever. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of issues. Like I don't buy into that this team is overachieving with the talent they have. Like you have good receivers on this team. Nothing great, but you have good receivers on this team. You have a really good young quarterback, and they keep bringing up his freshman, growth, cycle, and how there's some pains in his growing development. It's like I've not come away from one game and been like, wow, Drake Lindsay, really, if it wasn't for the freshman mistakes, that would have been a totally different game. He has not cost us any of the games. I mean, even Iowa, he had a bad game, but like that was getting ugly before he even did anything really. Like, so I don't know. It's just I don't buy it, and I'd like to turn it back to like PJ's question in the presser that he got this week about the defense and if it's a talent, basically a player, scheme, or coaching problem. He said coaching and players problem. I don't know. Like I don't know what you're expecting him to say at this point in the season, but do you buy it? I don't think it's the scheme. I get that, but like
yeah.
I think there's better players there than what they are telling us.
Do you think that he is saying this for his like coach speak, just protect,
Probably.
his, or do you think like my problem is, okay, coach is always going to say the right thing, right? Or, you know what I mean? Football talk, coach talk, whatever. But my thing is, I really hope that he knows in his head that this isn't right. And to me, what that means is he has to make changes in his coordinators during the off season. Because then if that doesn't happen, then I don't know if it's coach speak. Like maybe partially it is, but you can't tell me that, we're going to give it another whirl just to see what happens.
Yeah. Even if it's a player problem and the players are very good, they should still be getting better as the season goes on, and it's not happening.
Right.
Like, the zone drops, the pass coverage, it's all getting worse. I mean, I sent you guys that thing. I looked it up here just for funsies. We'll just go over the last four. So, like, from the Iowa game, this is the opposing quarterback's completion percentage and, like, where it ranked for them on the season against other FBS teams. So, Mark Gronowski, 63%. That was his fourth best game of the year, and that was a higher percentage than his season average. The Michigan State kid, he had his highest completion percentage on the year against us. That's 71%. Oregon, Dante Moore. Yeah, in his first start. Oregon guy, Dante Moore, 90% against us, his highest completion percentage of the year. Northwestern, Stone completed 83%. That's his highest completion percentage of the year, and it's also higher than his season average, as was Dante Moore's, the Michigan State guys. You go back to Ohio State, he completed 85% against us too, and that's higher than his season average. So it's been trending poorly, and everybody is, it's a faceless opponent in the sense that it doesn't matter what quarterback we're facing, they're lighting us up. It's not just the big boys picking us apart.
Right. Yeah.
When you put it like that, it's really, it's, yeah.
And especially when a lot of those are coming at this point in the season where you expect the defense to be improving and it's gone the wrong way.
It's 3 straight quarterbacks have had their best day of the season against us. Like, I don't think that's just coincidence. Oh, they got hot at the right time. No, you're doing something wrong.
Right.
But
yeah. And I guess to PJ's comments about, the combination of youth and coaching, and like he kind of even brought up like just the loss of all the NFL talent. I think they said they lost like 9 players to the NFL from off of last season's roster, which I think doesn't make the point PJ meant it to make, because I took that as
7-5.
Wow, you really underperformed last season. And like you said, the 247 composite ranking coming into this season, again, that's recruiting and transfers and all those things. So there are young guys. You expect young guys to make young guy mistakes, but what's been the weakness of the offense? The offensive line, specifically the right side, which is the most experienced, group of players, unfortunately. We knew cornerback was going to be an issue, and unfortunately, John Nestor wasn't able to go last weekend. You're telling me no one's ready? Like, not one guy with all the safety help in the world. Like,
Zaquan Bryan was a solid coverage corner last year.
He was.
I know it was limited, but now it's like they don't know where they're supposed to go, like in zone coverage, and it's awful.
Yeah. There's I don't know what it is. There's just something off. Like,
it's like
it's
there's install that they're not like they haven't practiced. Like every week it's a new install and they haven't practiced it enough to know situationally what to do or where to go. I don't know.
I think I think PJ answer was fine as long as he doesn't like fully mean that. Obviously you want better players, and obviously the coaching has to be better. I would be surprised at this point if Danny Collins isn't demoted at the end of the season, back to co-defensive coordinator. They're going to bring somebody else in. That's probably a topic for a later time, but maybe he has a great game and does something incredible and saves his job, but I am not holding my breath. So.
Yep.
Like a shutout against the Badgers. Like what I don't know what incredible would have to happen against a team that's on their 3rd and 4th starting quarterback. But
give up less than 200 yards, shutout.
They're going to have a career day probably.
Let's get a little optimism in here. All right, I got a question for you guys again.
Yeah.
All right, Gophers versus Wisconsin. It's always important. I feel like there's been some shade thrown at this one by outsiders and even some, lukewarm Gophers and Badger fans that are more NFL people. Like, yeah, look at their records. Like, of course, each team is saying throw out the records when it comes to this one because they're sucking. I just want to know, like, how important do you guys think this year's game in particular is for both teams?
I mean, it's the tiebreaker for one. It's to take the lead in the whole series, which we fought back in finally. And then, if you're looking at it from the Wisconsin side, like you mentioned, Spence, they do have an outside chance of still getting a bowl game. It kind of seems like since they've announced the whole Fickle coming back thing, they've kind of got things clicking. It's like they've got some stability or just more confidence within the staff and everything. So I don't know. It seems like it's helping them out. So this would be a big one to kind of cap off the stretch that they've been on. But for us, it's like this is kind of the make or break of like it's either going to be a mostly disappointing season or it's going to be
terrible.
The fan base is not going to be happy at all. Like neither are good, but one of them is way better than a loss if the Gophers don't show up to play in this one.
This game is huge to me. You know what I mean? Like, even though these teams could be like totally defeated, 0-11 by the time that they meet. And I think that that's what college football's about, I think. You know what I mean? Um, Kurt, you always mention like you don't really like rivalry week because it's games that we are gonna miss because we're watching a Gopher game and we could be watching a lot of other great football games at the same time. But this is our Army Navy. This is our Ohio State, Michigan. That's what that means to Gopher fans and Badger fans. At least I think Badger fans.
They're kind of back now. They were all in their Packers gear, and now they're kind of back to being somewhat Badger fans as well. Now that
Yeah.
they've won 2 games, but
So yeah, it's important, and we all know like it just feels really good, even though you've had a terrible season. If you get the axe again, you feel so much better, and uh, so yeah, I think it's really important, and not just for wins and losses, but for pride. You know what I mean? Just for pride and winning, for pride and retaining the axe, the pride of tradition, and
I think
like
it's bigger than that.
carrying
I think
on.
it's one of the biggest games in PJ's career as far as going up against
Oh,
Wisconsin. I think it's the biggest one matchup since
explain that,
2022.
yeah.
I think Dave nails it. If you beat Wisconsin this year, they are feeling good. Wisconsin Twitter was dead. And it was gone. They've been losing recruits. I don't know if they've picked one up since, but as of like a week ago, they had no 2026 O lineman commits. If you beat them now and undercut them and they finish the season 4-8, shy of that 5-7 mark, they lose all respectability that they've gained here the last 2 weeks over these last 2 wins, and they're back to feeling crappy about themselves. Fickle is gone. He's going to have an amazing year next year to keep his job if he goes 4-8 this year, in my opinion. I know the schedule gets a lot easier for them, but if you lose to this, what is perceived to be a very bad Gopher team, when you're trending the right way and you lose, I think it's the 2022 game 2.0. I know that was to stop them from going to the Big Ten championship, but this is stopping their momentum and cutting the tree while it's trying to grow, and it makes them restart again. In my opinion, I think it's that massive of a blow that you have a chance to deliver to Wisconsin this Saturday. And then on top of the Gophers, I mean, you win 7-5, and if you can get a decent win, depending on things shake out, I don't know. Like Detroit's the most likely, and the Pinstripes the most likely, but maybe you can sneak to the Music City Bowl, maybe just because you've been to those other ones recently. So, as Dave brings up, Badger fans absolutely can't stand losing to PJ, so that's always an added bonus, no matter what rival you're playing, and you can get out a dub. And PJ has only beaten both of our rivals, Iowa and Wisconsin. He's only beaten them once at home. He has a tremendous opportunity to get another one in front of the fans and kind of fix this feeling that the fan base has been stuck with over the last couple of games of feeling crappy. So I think it's a massive game, to be honest. I think it's being slept on because of the subpar records that people have maybe were expecting these teams to have potentially. I mean, the Badgers were expected to be bad because of the schedule, but it was looking rough as well. So I just feel like it's being slept on how big of a game this could be to the program's future.
Yeah.
Great point, I think. Yeah, I mean, it's a big game. And to PJ's credit, it does seem like he always does get this team to ramp it up for this game, which is great. But yeah, that's a great, interesting perspective, Curdy. Obviously, just from a fan standpoint, to me, it's really important, but it is a little deeper than that, as you say. So this is the Super Bowl, our
It
Super
is.
Bowl. So
Yeah.
you got to be ready to roll.
That comment always gets thrown out like it's a bad thing. When did it become not cool to care about wanting to beat whoever you're facing? Everyone's like, oh,
Right.
they just cared more. It's like, yeah, like Nebraska fans were throwing that out like at us. It's like, so you're not a blue blood then? Like football doesn't matter to you guys? Is that what you're saying? Like, first of all, the blue blood status is gone. It's gone. It's been out of their veins for a long time. They're not a blue blood, but like that gets thrown out like, oh yeah, we're always your Super Bowl. I don't get it. It's like, why wouldn't we want to win this game? I want to win every
Right.
game. Bunch of losers. Anyway,
Especially when
go
they
ahead.
make it that easy.
Yeah, that's to everybody, not just Nebraska. I saw Nebraska fans trying to say
Yeah.
that after they lost, so that was weird. But
It deadens
I'm
the
sorry.
pain for them and their miserable
Does
fandom.
it? I don't even know if
I don't
that's
know.
better. Like, oh, well, I guess they only beat us because they cared about it more. It's like I would want my team to care more. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. You lost to a team you didn't even care about. Like, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I
I
guess
suppose
let's
we should
just break.
preview the game now.
Yeah, we'll break down this game. So again, against the eternal rivals, the Badgers. Let's start, I guess, with this Wisconsin offense. My question is, or the biggest thing was, can they even score because of these quarterback situations? And I was like, against this defense, probably. Um, as we know that they're on like their third and fourth string quarterbacks, because Billy Edwards had that um, season-ending knee injury.
Yeah.
Also, I think their backup as well had a season-ending injury.
That's for the
Um,
better. He was cheeks. That's okay. Hope he heals up.
yeah. Um, Yeah, I think the one thing is we knew what Fickle wanted to do with this offense, and that was an air raid. And we always said that, oh, that's a little uncharacteristic of classic Wisconsin running the football, perennial running backs that are, potential Heisman contenders even and or top draft picks. And that's kind of failed. But now because they're on their quarterbacks, like lower on the depth chart, it seems like they've really kind of leaned into the physical nature again and they're kind of pounding the football more. And that's been working over the past few games, right? Shocker that they leaned into their classic bread and butter and they do really well at that. So the physicality standpoint is a big thing that, it's the Big Ten. That's kind of what you have to do. Um Darian Dupree, I think, is just their stud work back, I guess. And they do have some solid athletic receivers and ball catchers, but I think running the ball is what their bread and butter is. However, I think that if you're Wisconsin and this defense is so weak and it's your last game of the season for the Axe for potential bowl eligibility, why not just open the playbook and let it loose, see what you got? And that's kind of what worries me. But yeah, what are both of your thoughts?
I thought you hit most of it. The tight end's a pretty good player for them. I think he's actually technically their leading receiver when I pulled it up on ESPN, but they use him a decent amount. But they are a running team. Like this quarterback has not been very good passing, but as we brought up, everyone's been having a career day against this defense. So I think it's going to look like a lot. I don't even want to say more balanced because I think they're going to be run heavy. Um, but I think they'll have success through the air too, if that, unfortunately. Um, they got some decent guys out there. I think the big thing is just how physical their offensive line has looked the last two games, their last two wins. I don't know. I don't know what happened if like people got healthy or if they were young and it just started to click. But their line, I mean, just manhandled Illinois' front and they pushed them around. And so, and the quarterback, I don't know if he's technically a dual threat, but he's got some decent wheels on him too. He can move a little bit, and so I think that they'll mix that in. Um, but yeah, it's for me looking at this offense going against our defense. I think Devin Williams coming back would be huge. He's our leading tackler on the season. I think you're going to need seven guys in the front to slow him down, and it's all going to be, it's tails all this time in college football or any football. Who's going to win the trench battle? And man, you're going to need all hands on deck to slow down Dupree and what Wisconsin's been able to do lately. They've been having some success.
Definitely. Yeah, Carter Smith, the freshman quarterback. he probably is. I mean, just looking at his numbers, he's got equal amount of rush attempts as pass attempts. And I think PJ, he called him a dual threat. But watching him, like, he's not crazy fast, and he can run. He's got some like speed to him, but he's not like a guy that's super dangerous. It's just kind of he's
Right.
best utilized that way. So it will kind of be, for our defense, a lot of gap
Assignments.
integrity, making sure your
Yeah.
eyes are in the right place, making sure we're not getting out of position because they'll take what you give them. But yeah, I mean, they're a 59% run team. Like you said, their leading receiver is a tight end, Lance Mason. Like, they're not going to take the top off the defense. They're not going to be super explosive. They're probably going to try to pull out some trick plays if they need to. But it's an offense that is gettable.
Hold on. Does anyone here think they're gonna need trick plays to move the ball? Because I don't. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't. I mean, I'm not saying they won't run them to get big plays, but I think they're gonna be able to gash us here and there throughout. I think it'll be a
Sure.
dogfight. Like,
For sure.
I'm not saying you were saying
Yeah.
that. I get what you were saying. I just wanted to make sure we are aware of our own defense at the current state.
Oh, right.
To the
No.
listeners and viewers, yeah.
Right. No, what I'm saying is if our run defense steps up and like that's what they can't get rolling, it's not going to be, well, let's just drop back and throw 40 passes.
Sure.
Like, they're going to have to try to get something going because they're just not like, they don't have, even compared to Northwestern, like they don't have what Northwestern has even, which is
I hope
good.
not.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know, matchup wise, it just feels like it's a little bit more in our favor because it feels like our run defense has been better than the pass defense, obviously.
I used to feel that way.
But that's what's been getting us it's the intermediate pass defense and broken coverages. Like,
yeah,
we do give up some big runs, we miss tackles, but like, I'm way more worried about
like Northwestern got, I guess, because of how quickly it can happen. But I mean, Northwestern, they had 2 20+ yard touchdown runs, I think, against us. Like, I just felt like the last couple games, people can kind of choose what they want to do. Really, from the Michigan State second half, they were running the ball on us too when they wanted to in that fourth quarter.
Sure.
So I'm not saying you're wrong, and I agree. Like, the weapons aren't the scariest there at Wisconsin, but like, they are going against our weakness in the secondary, and I know you know that.
Right.
I'm just
having
but that's a battle in my mind with it.
Yeah, it's just not their game though. Like, that's going to surprise me if they come out and just start slinging the ball everywhere. Like, it could happen. If it happens, I'm not going to be like super surprised.
Yeah,
but it's just not what they've done. It's not what they've needed to do because they can run the ball effectively.
Right.
It's just when running the ball isn't there. And the other problem that we haven't talked about, like, they give the ball away a ton too. Like, they turn it over quite a bit, like over once per game, which,
heck yeah,
like us, we don't take the ball away either. So it's going to be which side of that coin breaks, I guess. Like, do they stop giving it up or do we start taking the ball away a little bit more? Which some of it's been unlucky too. I mean, you look at Coy punching the ball out, it goes out of bounds.
Yeah.
They had a pass that went right through Matt Kingsbury's hands that ended up being caught right at the goal line. Like, it's happened game in and game out where guys were there, and PJ's talked about it. Like, he doesn't want guys to like press to try to make those plays because then that's when you get caught out of position. But man, it's been painful sometimes with how close and how many opportunities we've had that just doesn't go our way.
Yeah, I think that they're really going to, for some reason, especially against Iowa and like against our rivals, Iowa, Michigan, Wisconsin, I feel like the tight end play is always there. I feel like they always will go to their big tight ends. And it's unfortunate because this tight end, like you said, Kurt, is probably their best receiver. And I don't know, if I'm Fickle, I'm going to try and test the waters in the passing game just to see what you can do. Hopefully it doesn't work. I think you're right too. The running game's working. But this defense, as we all know, is just not that great. So why not just throw it all at you and see what happens?
To both your guys' points right there, something we weren't able to do against Northwestern that was super frustrating is make them throw deep. They were able to throw those 10 to 15-yard passes repeatedly, mix in the run, then keep throwing those passes. Like, I'm sure Wisconsin's going to use a similar game plan. So if you can slow down the run a little bit and at least get them to like some third and longs, I think like the game plan is to try and just make them beat you over the top, and that doesn't mean have the busts and coverage that we've had, but like be running with them man to man and make them complete those balls down the field that they haven't done a whole lot like us. But like I think that's you know putting some pressure on them and trying to make them make those plays down the field. I think is our best chance. Similar to the game plan we kind of tried against Nebraska, where we took some chances and made them throw it deep. I think that's kind of got to be what you try and do with this Badger team.
Yeah. All right. Let's break down the Wisconsin defense and if we can score. Thing is, the Badgers this year, I had to look this up. They are 16th in the nation in run defense, only allowing 103.2 rushing yards per game. That's a pretty stout defense of like more of the Wisconsin that we've been used to, I guess, in our lifetimes. Fortunately for us, we don't run the ball that well anyway, I guess. So I guess that won't hurt. They are 84th in pass defense, allowing 229 per game, and 45th in scoring defense, 22 points allowed per game. So I think that if you're the Gophers, you got to rely heavily probably on Lindsey. It'd be great to get Darius involved. I think that when you look at this up front, that they're pretty solid. They usually always have solid backers. I don't know much about their secondary in general and who's like a stud out there, but I do know that we'll probably have to rely on the passing game a lot in order to maybe get some points on the board. Typically, this game too, it'd be nice to run the ball. Hopefully, we can see some Darius and Feme out there, but and solid offensive line play. Kurt, you mentioned the trenches. If they can beat their front, their defensive front, looking pretty golden.
Yeah, I think it's the biggest mismatch on the field, to be honest, is their defensive front against their offensive front. When you look at just how the season's gone for those two units, recently over the last 4 or 5 games, they've had those two freshman linebackers that they've started playing that look really, really good. Posa and Catalano. Both of them are studs, especially Posa. And then Catalano's like the lesser of the two freshmen, but still really good. He had 19 tackles in that upset win over Washington, 11 of them solo. So those two guys are quick and just tackling machines. So I don't know if it was just they just infused speed into that defense or what, but I mean the run defense was pretty solid all year, and those two guys coming in and giving it some juice. Yeah, the front is a mismatch, but I think you're right. I think we're primarily going to be trying to move the ball through the air, and not necessarily that's a bad thing because you look at the teams that have had success against Wisconsin, they have been hitting shots on the down the field on them pretty consistently. Like Illinois didn't have a good game last game, but even they had, I think they had 3 or 4 receptions still over 20 plus yards against the Badgers defense. So, even games they've won, they've still given up some chunk plays, including a 36-yarder. So we're going to have to take those shots. I'd like to see more Coleman out there, and he went 1 for 2 on his 50-50 balls down the field. Tracy's another taller guy that can probably go up and continue to win contested balls, and he's coming off a great game, and Lemecki's been a great route runner too. So I think those three I like against their secondary. It's just how's the O-line going to hold up? Now, to the point I was trying to make with some people on Twitter, I think the O-line was fine last game. I actually thought, that was one of the, I don't know where it ranks, but that was a good defensive front in Northwestern. Like they'd been playing solid against everybody, and both backs averaged over 4 yards a carry. I actually thought they should have been helped out more. I didn't think Darius was feeling 100% or just wasn't running quite right last game. I thought there's more yards there on the table. So the O-line's play from last game actually gives me a slight bit of encouragement, but yeah, we're gonna have to get creative. I don't expect us. I can't picture us scoring a ton of points on this defense, but I think we're gonna have to put up. I think we're gonna have to put up close to 24 to get the win. To be honest, just because of how our defense on the other side's been struggling. So we're gonna have to probably get, I think, 3 touchdowns out of this to give ourselves a chance. So we'll see.
Yeah, like we've been harping on all year as far as on the field goes. I mean, it's offensive line and wide receivers making contested catches, and we saw improvement in both of those areas last game. So if they can continue on that and hopefully don't shy away from taking shots. And I wouldn't hate to see us keep Tony Nelson in there as well at guard. I know he subbed in for Marcellus Marshall. It seemed like he brought a little extra physicality to that offensive line. I don't know. He's a small town kid from Minnesota. Maybe this one just matters a little bit more to him playing Wisconsin. I have no idea. But we'll kind of see what the line looks like. I know they haven't really wanted to go back to shuffling a lot. I don't want them to shuffle at this point either. I just think if Tony Nelson can kind of be that difference in the interior of the offensive line, I'd be more than happy. If he's no better, then what's the difference? I guess at this point, like you really can't hurt because fortunately Marshall's been he stands out a lot sometimes, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I hate to single out one guy, but it's happening all year long. So this is the game that we've talked about. I mean, winning on the ground, especially if Darius isn't 100%, like whatever we can do to help that out, we got to make those changes. So hopefully, too, even if Darius isn't 100%, hopefully they trust Feme enough to do what he can do just because he's been such a good,
He had like 4 touches last game.
I know. And there was some key situations, too, where I think I texted about it. Like, why isn't he just our dedicated red zone running back? Like, Darius is a great patient runner to let the hole open up, but when that doesn't happen, and it hasn't happened most of the season, it kind of goes to waste. Whereas Feme could run into a brick wall, and he's probably going to get 2 yards. Like that's just what he does. So I'd love to see more Feme in short yardage situations. Let's do away with the wildcat on 3rd and short or 4th and short because that's just not worked at all. That's
the slow
aside,
read.
Oh God.
Yeah.
But yeah, what else? Wisconsin, they're also like one of the worst teams defensively in takeaways. So another opportunity if we're going to take deep shots. I mean, this team is
chuck it up for grabs.
So yeah, I just let Drake throw it 50 times. I don't know. They do get a good pass rush though. As much as we talked about the offensive line and their run blocking, the pass blocking in this one's gonna be just as important.
Yes, thank you. I wrote it down. I almost didn't even say it. So since the Oregon game for Wisconsin, they have a 54% pressure rate, which is 4th in all of college football, and just under a 15% sack rate, which is 2nd in college football. So those linebackers being mixed in, they've really been getting home. And again, that same with the O line. The D line has just out physicaled really their last 2 opponents, their last 2 wins at least. And so, they're definitely trending the right way up front. But like I said, I think we have the guys to take advantage of their secondary down the field. It's just can we design them open and can we keep Drake upright? So one thing I want to do away with, the 3 tight end set is really just not doing it. Like you're at this point, you're best spreading them out so they bring less guys into the box and giving it to Feme or Taylor in those short yardage runs. Like the 3 tight ends, it's just, if all the time we're running it like short side, which I get it, it's a numbers game, so you're just looking at where they're, lining up and trying to get off that. But I don't know. They all come crashing in, right off the edge, I feel like, and hit our running backs in the legs as they're trying to follow the line, and it just isn't working. So that's one thing I think we could probably rule out this game unless we're just, demoralizing them. I don't see us just pushing them around. Our offensive line just pushing them around all game. So maybe go without the 3 tight end look, but yeah.
All right. Any comments on special teams?
Nope.
Kick return. Great job last game.
Finally got some blocks.
If it's 4th and 5 or less, you got to go if you're PJ. why kick it at this point?
You
Unless
mean
it's dead
like
center,
if it's like a
it's
50
over a field
yarder?
goal.
Okay.
Over kicking a field goal. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
In fact, if
All
we
right.
attempt a
Well,
40-plus yard field goal at all, I'm going to shut off the TV because I don't
yeah,
know what you're expecting to happen at this point.
I agree. All right. Let's go ahead and break down keys of the game and score predictions. I'll go ahead and start, fellas. Number one, we've been talking about it. I think that you just have to be able to play physical. You have to get up for this one. You have to be able to throw everything else that's happened and just go for it and win this game. I think physicality is so important. Number two, I think we got to clean up the penalties. Like last game was a little atrocious in the penalties. It was kind of hard to watch at some points. And that was both the Gophers and Northwestern, but you can't have little tit for tat kind of, penalties. Every yard is going to count. It's going to be probably a close one. So, yeah. And then number three, I want to be able to run the ball. Offensive line needs to carry over the success that they had last week and bring it into this game too, because we know that we're going to have to rely on Drake Lindsay in the passing game a lot. I think that if you're able to wrinkle in play actions with Feme, with Taylor, I think that that'll help you tremendously this game. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if we can establish the run early and be able to have our way on the ground, I think that will help tremendously. So with that being said, rivalry game, kind of bad. We're trending down. They're trending up. It's going to be a close one. But I got to go with your very own Golden Gophers. I think they get it done 24-17.
Nice.
I like it. I don't even got three keys. For me, this all comes down to, can you put together a fundamentally sound defense where you're at least tackling what's in front of you? Devin Williams, John Esser, if they're back, I feel a little bit better. But, I mean, it's going to be a test. Like, I'm not expecting this defense to have everything fixed. And offensively, I don't know. Like, is the O-line just going to get ate up? Because if it is, and Drake has no time, it's going to be a long day. Like, Harbaugh's got to be ready for something other than 3 screens in a row. That's all I have to say. So, if the defense is healthy and, comes up and plays with a little bit of a fire that they've had at times at home, right? They've been a little bit different of a defense at home at times as opposed to what they've shown on the road, then I think the Gophers can win it, 28-14. But if they can't, I think it could be a tough sledding, and I think you could see Dupree gashing us and us just struggling to get off the field, and then the offense having too many 3-and-outs where the defense gets worn down and giving up big plays. And if that happens, I think Wisconsin wins it like 23-14.
Which one do you think's going to happen?
Yeah. So what is your prediction?
Can be honest.
I don't feel good about it, to be honest.
That's all right. This is Sky U Pod, baby.
I'm gonna take. I think the Badgers win it. I think they do.
So 23-14 Badgers.
I think so.
Yeah. No, the way it's going, I mean, I don't feel great about this game. Yeah, I feel like it just comes down to our players, like not only the top players, like it's not just Drake, Darius Coy, Mav, Anthony Smith. Like it's going to be the young guys. If guys are down, it's going to be whoever's coming off the bench. Like in a weird way, it's like prove PJ wrong. Like just because you're inexperienced doesn't mean you can't make plays. Just because you're a little bit banged up doesn't mean you can't go out and break off a long run. Just because they say this team's more physical than you doesn't mean you can't punch them in the mouth early and take things over. So
that's what I like.
I don't know. Hear. It's almost like we just have to win despite what our coach is saying. And yeah, if we just play like we're the better team, which it feels like in games we've played like that, like Nebraska and maybe some earlier games. Like it just looks different. It just looks a little more confident. Um, Confident in a way of like even if it's not going well, it's like it doesn't phase them. Versus the last few games, it seems like we've been a little more up and down like throughout the game itself. So just being consistent, having that confidence early, and my goodness, we've said it every single game. If we can score on our opening possession and get a defensive stop, like think of how different this game feels. It feels like every game, especially offensively, we've played like 3/4 of a complete game because we just don't start well at all. So we can give ourselves 4/4 of offense, like productive offense, and we're going to need it against this defense. Then hopefully that makes a difference. Hopefully we get enough opportunities to score points. Don't turn the ball over. Take it away a couple times. Gophers come away with the X, 24-23, game-winning field goal. Brady Denenberg shuts up the hater. No, I'm just kidding.
I hope it doesn't come down to
I hope it doesn't come down to that either.
field goal.
But if it does, I hope it
So
goes.
be it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want this one so bad. Like,
Oh yeah.
We always do. Let's get a win at home again. It's been a while. Since 2022. I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
2022.
and 2:30
Yeah.
on a Saturday, we don't have to deal with the sleepy Madison crowd. Like, give me a good one.
Thank you. This is a much better atmosphere in Minneapolis than it
Yes.
is in Madison. Madison, it's
Oh,
gone.
and it's gonna
All
be
the
cold.
students are gone. And it's going to be cold. This game has been a better atmosphere in the Gopher City. I'm just talking like
Yeah.
you know, what am I saying here? I'm just talking like outside fan perspective, like not even a shot really at, Madison. It's just like none of their students are there. And so it's just always felt like a sleepy game over there.
Right.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
maybe it was 2021, Dave. I think it was 2021 when we beat them at home and stopped them from going. It was.
All right.
It was big. Yeah. You guys got your
Well,
locks?
I do have my lock. It's time for the Sky U Pod parlay of the week. Sorry, Max, for taking your pick last week when I wasn't around, but it didn't matter because guess what? We got the win. So you're all welcome for making you some big bucks here. We want to finish the week strong or the year strong here. And so we've got the best picks that you can come by. So please open up your wallets, send in your bank account information to your favorite online sports book because we're getting you money with this Sky U Pod parlay of the week. I wanted to go out with a bang in the regular season, and I'm picking a nice risky one. And I'm feeling pretty lucky, so why not go with them Irish? The Irish are on the road at Stanford. They're playing at 9:30 p.m., so we're going to be up all night watching this game. They're giving Notre Dame 32.5 points. Give me the Irish.
I like it.
You know what? I don't hate that because also there's a big push to get Jeremiah Love in the Heisman odds and stuff, and he shot up to number 2, I think. So I think they will feed him to get him, a shot at getting the invite at least. So I like it.
Saw what they did against Stanford, and with not having a conference championship game, they kind of need style points. I feel like they're sort of in at this point, no matter what.
They're
unfortunately,
basically in. Yeah. Max, I want to hear yours. Before
I
have 2 in case one of you picked mine.
I gotcha. I'm taking the Oklahoma Sooners -10 at home against LSU. LSU is dead. Nussmeier's doubtful.
Dang.
So
I thought for sure one of you would pick one of mine. I like the pick. Now I have both of them, and I didn't know which one I liked more. This is the one I saw first, so I'll go with it. And their rivalry, so it's scary. Alabama's minus 5.5 against Auburn, and I feel like Bama's going to do what they got to do to make sure they're in the SEC championship game and into the playoffs. So I'll take the Crimson Tide to cover that 5.5. I know it's a huge rivalry game, and Auburn, I think it was just last year, played them super close and almost to overtime, or I don't remember. I remember it was on in the restaurant, but it was kind of a wacky game. But yeah, I just think that Bama should be able to take care of business. The other one I really liked, I'm not going with it. Florida -1 over Florida State. Like they're a
Yeah, I
one-point
thought about
favorite.
that one.
The only thing is like it's Florida though. Like I don't feel
Yeah.
great about the Gators
Yeah.
either. But
It's going to probably be a really good game. Just
right.
those two. It's not
Yeah.
really playing for much, but it'd probably be a great game to watch.
Anyway, I think Bama can win by a touchdown. So
Yeah, definitely.
I like the pick. All right. Well, fellas, let's go ahead and make some picks. It's rivalry week in college football. We'll start the Friday night. Iowa's at Nebraska. They're giving Iowa 6.5 points. I'll probably go with the Hawkeyes there.
it's at Nebraska.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I worry about Nebraska's offense against the Hawkeye defense. I think without Rayola, so I'll take the Hawkeyes as
Yeah.
well. Although this
Yeah.
one's always close.
It always feels like it's really low scoring.
And a field goal
But-
wins it.
Right. But yeah, I don't know how much Nebraska's gonna be able to score. I feel like Iowa, yeah, both sides of the ball just way more physical. So I would also take the Hawkeyes.
Great
See,
choice.
Dave is going against you. Should he? He's taking Stanford to beat the spread.
I don't blame you. That's a lot of points. So, Dave, go ahead and put your money on the opposite, and we'll see if you come home with a lot of
Hey.
money.
We're on a heater, though. I'm just saying.
We are. We're on fire. So, all right. Next, Georgia's at Georgia Tech. They're giving Georgia 13.5 points. Give me the Bulldogs.
I'm also taking the Bulldogs. I know Georgia Tech battled last week and lost. I just think the quarterback's beat up and that Georgia will be able to tee off. So I'm going to take the Bulldogs as well. Although last year this game was incredible.
Yeah, I'm taking Georgia Tech, especially at home. I know they've trailed off a little bit, but it feels like one that they could keep close. It's like their last stand, and they kind of don't really have any pressure at this point either.
Yeah.
Playing with house money.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just like their coach.
Sure. All right. Texas A&M is on the road at Texas. One of the older rivalries, right? I know I asked this last year. Anyway.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But they
They're
missed
giving
a lot of years
Texas.
in there.
Yeah. They're giving Texas A&M 2.5 points. I'm going to go with Texas just because of the chaos that could ensue.
Hold up. Who's favored? Texas is favored or A&M?
Texas A&M is getting 2.5 points.
Well,
Really?
no, Texas A&M is favored by 2.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, yeah.
They're getting 2.5
They're giving.
makes it sound like they're plus 2.5.
Oh, yeah. It's Texas A&M minus 2.5.
Okay,
Sorry.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
I was gonna pick the same thing, Shitty. Yeah, I think it's total gut feel. I don't think Texas looks good this year. I just think they're gonna win. I have no other way to explain it. I'm gonna take Texas.
Yeah, this one does scare me. I almost wanted A&M as my lock. I'll take them with the pick, but yeah, this one could get crazy, especially because A&M kind of too.
They're in the playoff.
Yeah, like they have less to play for. So, but I mean, I doubt Elko's.
I agree, Dave. This was my favorite college football Thanksgiving game as well. This Texas A&M was my favorite, and then I believe A&M left, and that's when it ended. And then we got the
Right.
Egg Bowl, and now it's like Memphis versus
Navy.
or something. Hey,
Classic.
I love
Yeah,
Navy, but
it's
it's
odd.
not the same.
Right. All right. Now we're headed to Saturday. In the state of Tennessee, Vanderbilt is at Tennessee. They're giving Tennessee 3.5 points. I'll go with the Volunteers here.
It moved.
I'll take Vanderbilt. Just
I'll
Diego
take Vandy,
Pavia's
too.
one last ride.
Yeah. I'm going to go Vandy as well. Tennessee just hasn't beaten anybody, and I do think Vanderbilt is solid. So I think Vandy can get the W. So I'll take them.
Fair enough. Okay, back to the Big Ten now to round it out.
It is
Oregon.
meaningful. You're right. Sorry. Dave
They're
brought up
at-
a comment that the Navy-Memphis game is meaningful because Navy could make the conference championship game. So
Right.
it's just not the names that used to be involved. Sorry. Go ahead,
Right.
Shreddy.
I get it. Yeah, so Oregon, they're on the road at Washington. The Ducks are 6.5 point favorites. I'm going to go with the Ducks. Washington, I was following what you were saying, Kurt. They were looking good, and then they kind of, I don't know, fizzled. So
They're boomer bust play to play on offense. They have a fun offense, but then it'll just be missing for huge chunks of it. So that scares me. But I'll go Huskies because of the rivalry and because I'm rooting for a close game, and that's pretty much all I got. I think Oregon wins. I'm not putting money on this one, but I'm going to take the Huskies.
Yeah, then we take Washington as well at home. Outside that Wisconsin game late, I know they hadn't really played anyone, but they were kind of rolling. So I'll take Washington. There's something about some of these random Oregon games. I feel like my spidey senses tingle of like, this is one that is going to get overlooked. And like, it could be close.
It's been a pretty fun matchup the last few years between those two, too. So,
yeah.
All right. And lastly, Saturday morning, we all know the big one. Michigan is at Ohio State. Ohio State's 9.5 point favorites. It's got to be Ohio State this year, right? I mean,
it's at Michigan, right?
It's at Michigan.
Yeah.
I thought it was at the
Ohio
shoe.
State. Yeah, it is at Michigan. Sorry, did I say? Yeah, I did say it's at Michigan this year.
I'm pretty sure, because Ohio State lost at home and Michigan planted the flag, and then there was like the fight.
Yeah.
Listen. Oh, I'm taking the Buckeyes because it's gotta be, right? Like,
right, it's gotta be.
I feel like it's either Ohio State covers or Michigan wins again. Like, I just feel like it's that big of a mental thing. I think if it's, and I know Michigan's not a bad team by any means, but I just think Ohio State is that much better this year as they probably were last year. I think winning the Natty has probably freed them, I think, from the yips a little bit. But it is a tough environment. It's supposed to be snow. The receivers are banged up, but I think Jeremiah Smith is going to come back. Sounds like Carnell Tate might be done until like playoff time, like if they're deep in the playoffs. So that's interesting. I'm sure their backup is awful, but that was sarcasm if people didn't understand me. Anyway, I rambled. I'm taking the Buckeyes.
Yeah, I'm taking Ohio State as well. Just feels like they can get the monkey off their back. Harbaugh's not there. I know Sharon Moore's coaching this game in the past too, but like, I don't know. It kind of feels different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But man, if Ohio State doesn't run the ball effectively and Michigan comes out.
Who'd you take, Shreddy?
Yeah. I got the Buckeyes.
Okay.
If they lose, it's totally a mental block, right? I mean, like and we'll see.
If they lose, I'm definitely
Um,
tuning into the OHIO podcast to see
I know.
oh
what
yeah,
what they got to say.
it's.
I mean,
I wonder if they'll be like fire Ryan Day goes on to win the
no,
second national
I don't think.
championship.
Yeah, exactly. It is crazy
Um,
though, like how Ohio State had a stranglehold, and like Harbaugh was getting kind of close, but then would follow it up with like a bad loss the next year. It felt like, and then they just finally broke through, and all of a sudden we're here, and it's been 4 straight Michigan, which is crazy to me. But
that's crazy. Yeah. Anything else, fellas?
I didn't know they're
Thoughts?
called Michiganders. I learned
beat for
something, Dave.
Michigan, a
Thank you.
Michigander. I just can't cheer for Ohio State or any Ohio team. Matter of fact, that's understandable, Dave. See, I don't. I think Michigan fans are just one of my least favorite people in college football. to be honest,
To put it lightly.
I think they always think so highly of themselves, and they think they walk on water. That we should be grateful for their participation in the Big Ten and college football in general. So I think them and Notre Dame are very similar in that way, and then they are rivals with each other. So I guess I do have strong feelings, but no,
Yeah.
it's funny because I don't have those feelings towards the team itself. It's literally just the fans, if that makes sense. Like I don't mind seeing Michigan win certain games. I don't necessarily like them though. Like I know it's not a rivalry because they've won it so much, but I do want to beat them bad because of their fans though. But you know, it is what
Fair
it
enough.
is. I just want to say thank you, Sky U Pod fans, for tuning in this year. It's been a great year. Hit that like and subscribe if you don't mind. We appreciate it. And yeah, we plan on keeping this thing going. We're all in, stages of life where we're not as maybe consistent as we want to be, but I thought we did okay this year. We'll try and get back to the post game reactions next year. It just was busy, kids. Max bought a house, bunch of projects going on. I mean, Spencer's going to be a doctor, guys. We're going to be able to give you on the scene medical analysis. We're going to send Shitty the clip. He's like, that is a torn scrotum. He's out for a while, and go from there. So I just want to say thanks to you guys tuning in. It's been a good one.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you all for watching. Yeah, that'll do for, I guess, our last episode or pre-game episode of Sky U Pod for the 2025 season. As always, please like and subscribe to the channel. You can find us on YouTube, X, Spotify, wherever you like to listen to podcasts. Be sure to check out our partners website, thecollegehuddle.com, for more college football podcasts and articles. We appreciate it. As always, happy Thanksgiving to all of you out there too. Wish you nothing but the best. But after you eat a lot of turkey, tune in on Saturday at 2:30 to watch the Gophers kick some Badger butt. We love you all. We'll see you next time. Go Gophers.